Good morning and welcome to Elevate Your Coaching Business this week. I'm Johanne and I am a business mentor and sales expert for new coaches who want to sign their first 3 to 5 clients. We're going to talk about something that has come up this week, but it comes up nearly every week, right? And it's around getting super frustrated and worrying that your strategy isn't working. So I've been there. I know my clients have been there. I know you guys have been there. So it's very easy, right, to get caught up in, is my strategy working and is it not working? Because as entrepreneurs, we want results now. Well, actually, let's be honest, we want them yesterday, right? But we want them super fast. Like, we get impatient when it's not coming together. We've been conditioned to be that way. Like, if you've ever worked in a corporate job, you know there's a step by step that you get to follow, and you're pretty much sure of the result that's going to happen. And even at times, there'll be teams of you working together that each person has bits of the puzzle that they're bringing together, and you don't need to know it all because somebody else has got it, right? But being a business owner is slightly different, but we don't always shift our mentality into that. So then when we have a strategy that's in front of us and we're using it, and we may have been taught to use it, and it feels like it's not coming together, the worry and the self-doubt can kick in. So if that is a situation that you're in right now and you're in that cycle and you can feel those like self-doubt moments coming in or the thoughts coming into your head, pay attention, because I'm going to go through with you how you can actually deal with that and how you can overcome it. And as well, no, it's part and parcel of business, right? Because we can't know what we can't see. And it can feel scary when it's like, well, if I do this and I put my time and effort into it, will I really get the results that I want? And I can honestly say the one thing that has stood to me in business, and the one thing that I go back to time and time again, is connecting with my belief in myself, my belief in not necessarily what I'm doing, but my belief in who I'm supporting, and that I know that what I teach transforms the lives of the clients that come in contact with me. I know that, right? So I don't doubt that at all. So I connect with that. And when you're connected with that, you can get like really clear on, well, what is my intention here? What am I declaring that I'm doing? And declaring, it's similar to a goal, right? So you're sharing what it is that you want to do. You're committed to it no matter what. And that's where people will waver. So if the self-doubt is coming in, know that what you're actually doing is, it's not about whether or not this is going to work. It's your commitment to it working is starting to waver. That's what that is. So it shifts a little bit when you can see that it's not actually, I'm not capable, I don't have what it takes, or the strategy shit. It's my commitment is wavering. So connect with yourself and say, am I committed to this and seeing this through and creating exactly what I said I would create? So whether it's, you bring in 2 clients, whether it's you bring in 20 new leads, whatever it is, are you committed to making that happen no matter what? If your answer to that is, well, I'm not sure and I need to see how I feel, it's a commitment issue. It's a commitment issue. I always remember when this landed for me. It was 2 years ago. It was in 2021. And like, you will have heard me talk about this multiple times because I'm literally obsessed with it, was when I started doing a leadership training. And I'm so obsessed with this training that I coach it for free, right? On my time, like my energy, all of that for free, in a different space. Because I don't teach leadership, but I will happily coach it because I am just literally obsessed with this, and everybody gets to have their lives transformed. But I still remember it hitting home with me that the results that in my business were nothing to do with the strategy. It was to do with my commitment to what I was saying I was going to do and seeing it through to completion, no matter what. But it was the no matter what scared me, because the no matter what meant that there was possibilities of rejection. The no matter what meant that somebody might not like how I shared something. The no matter what meant that I could be judged. The no matter what meant that there could potentially be, unwanted comments. The no matter what could be that a family member or a friend mightn't understand what I'm doing, mightn't agree with what I'm doing, and share that. which then I would feel would knock me back. So it's knowing what the no matter what, why are you resistant to that? Why is that condition there? What is the underlying belief around that? And when you know that, it supports you with, okay, this is what my intention is. This is what I'm declaring, and I am committed AF to seeing it through. So if you're in the place right now where you're like, okay, my strategy is my strategy and I can't see it working. So I'll give you a real life example. I had a conversation a number of months ago with a lady. We were having a DM conversation, and she was sharing that she was having DM conversations, but nobody was responding to her. So it just wasn't working, right? So I'm sure you can resonate with this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I've been there. But when you dive down deep into it, it's like, are you doing something because for example, you've been told to do it, or somebody else has shared that it's worked really, really well for them, therefore you try it, but it's a tick box, right? It's like, I'm doing it because this is what they say that will work, but you're not actually connected to it. When you're connected to it, your intention is completely different, because you're not doing something just to get. So what I find is that when people are not bringing in leads, or they're not converting leads into sales, so into clients, it's because the connection piece is missing. It's the strategy has been done as a task. So as in, like, you've a list of stuff to do and you're ticking them off, but you're not energetically connected to what you're doing. You're more concerned about what you're going to get rather than what you can give, and therefore open yourself up to receiving. So if you've been following me for a while, you will have heard me talk about this lots of times. Getting energy is the worst energy that you can be in, because it's really tight, it's constraint, it's actually coming from a scarcity mindset. Versus when you are giving and you're being generous, and you want to support the person to get to where they want to, whatever that looks like for them, and you know that you're the bridge to that, you know that you're the gap to that, and you're a firm stand for them, then you will be able to receive. So with this person that I was having this conversation with about the DMs, when we got underneath it, she was treating it as a tick box. So she had a list of people from her social media that she was connecting with. She wasn't connected with who they were, whether or not they were her ideal client. She wasn't trying to get to know them. And if they didn't respond in the first instance, she gave up. So I'm giving that example because I've heard, that's not the first time I've heard that, like, being, a strategy that doesn't work. But check in with yourself. If that's something that you're implementing and it isn't working for you, why isn't it working for you? It's not the strategy that's the problem, because any strategy will work, right? Any strategy will work. When you have the how-to guide of a strategy, if a coach has given you a how-to guide, it's because it's tried and tested 99% of the time. Like, that's where you get to do your due diligence on the coach and see what they have actually caused and created with that. But if they are seeing results with that, if their clients are seeing results with that, then the only reason why it wouldn't work for you is down to your connection and what your mindset allows. So it happens so often, like, it literally happens so often where, people will be in a strategy, they will be doing the strategy. And I'm thinking of one client in particular right now, where doing the strategy and doing it and doing it and doing it. And right where, like, she's at the end of the strategy and she hasn't had any calls booked. She had no clients come in. So she's at that wavering point where it's like, it's not going to work. Knowing full well that whenever we go over the tip of the fear is when everything starts to come in. So got her grounded on what her intention was, and to get out of the scarcity mindset and be in generosity and service. And guess what happened? I started getting message after message. Discovery call booked. Discovery call booked. Oh my goodness, I got a sale. She's after paying in full. Hang on a second, I have another sale. Oh my goodness, she's after paying in full. So why does that happen? It's down to how you connect with it yourself. And if you avoid, like, this, like, you can call it whatever you want, right? But if you avoid the, the mindset piece, the leadership piece, the energetics piece that goes with who you are and how you're showing up, business will be challenging, right? And particularly if you're new, right? Or you're looking to take that next step in your coaching business, you've got to implement new things and things that you've never done before, that you don't have that guaranteed stamp that from you that this is going to work, right? Somebody else is telling you it's going to work, but you don't have that guaranteed stamp that this is going to work. So it's going to have that thought in your mind, well, is it going to work or is it not going to work? So like I said, these strategies always work, but it's down to how you connect with them. So what I always do and what I teach my clients to do is, first things first, what is your intention here? And I'm not talking about the task, but what is your intention? What is the difference that you want to make in whoever's life it is? So, for example, when I was coming on to do this live, what was coming through my mind was, what is my intention with this? My intention is to get you grounded in what ways you're thinking, what ways your thinking is impeding your ability to succeed, and how you can shift so that you can have the results that you want with whatever your current strategy is that you're using. So my intention is to transform your current way of thinking to support you with getting the results, right? So that's my intention. That's literally my intention. Okay. So then after I do my intention, that's what my intention is. What am I committed to? I am committed to being the person, so being that stand for you and sharing with you stuff maybe that other people aren't sharing, being that stand for you. And then that opening it up, that if anybody wants to take this conversation further, you can, because people always have questions, right? So if you want to take those questions further, you can, we can, right? It's a completely open space to do that. So that's my declaration. Then where do I go with this? Then I ground myself in, okay, do I have anything going on inside of me that may stop me from doing that? So how many of you do that? How many of you actually check in with yourself and go, okay, is there any thoughts coming up for me right now? Is there any feelings? Is there anything unresolved that I have inside of me that may impact how I'm going to show up? If you don't do that, it will impact you. Fact, right? It will, always will. So check in with yourself and go, okay, what am I thinking in here? Are my thoughts matching my words? Because that's normally where it goes wrong for a lot of coaches, is what comes out of their mouth is not what they're living and breathing inside of their head. So whatever is going on in there, resolve it so that you are coming from a neutral place, that you're coming from living and breathing exactly what you teach. Now, there's always a caveat with these things. If, for example, you're a confidence coach and you're like, well, I'm not fully confident in X, Y, and Z, that's not to say that you're not living and breathing it. You as a coach, as a business owner, are always going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple steps ahead of whomever it is that you're supporting. But what you get to do is make sure that you are living and breathing the work that you do and that you have seen transformation in what you've done. Remember, we're never fully transformed. So it's not like I'm never going to have a self-doubt again. It's not like I'm never going to, worry about, okay, when I do this next strategy, or if I heavily invest, will I get the return? Like, of course, those thoughts are still going to come into my mind, but I manage them. I get underneath why I'm feeling that way, why those thoughts are coming into my mind, and then I release it and move forward. I don't sit in it, because when you sit in it, you rinse and repeat it, and it will absolutely take over everything that you're doing. So get underneath whatever it is. Make sure that what is going on in your mind is matching what's coming out of your mouth, because that's been an integrity too, right? And also, if you're feeling unsure about something, speak it out. Get support with it so that it's not running your mind. Because I promise you, if it runs your mind, it's definitely going to run your results, because our results are always a direct reflection of what's going on inside of us. They're never a reflection of, what we're doing. It's always a reflection of what's going on inside of us. It was Bob Proctor. I always remember him sharing this. So when I received coaching for the first time ever, was from a Bob Proctor consultant. And I just always remember, he was an amazing man, loved having sessions from him. But I always remember him sharing that we're like a thermostat. So it doesn't matter what's going on outside, the thermostat will always read what's truly going on inside. It's like, that is just brilliant. That was brilliant. So that was always a great visual for me, because I could see the thermostat, right? You can't change it. It is what it is, right? So it's like if you ever get into a car and the car has been sitting out in the sun, it might be roaring hot, right? But that's not really the true temperature. The true temperature is what's going on inside. So just remember that. But yeah, clear whatever is going on, resolve whatever thoughts are going on in your mind so that you can see the results that you want. So if you have a strategy right now, here's some things that you get to ask yourself. The first thing is, what is your intention? The second thing is, have you actually declared what you want from this? So not an expectation, because an expectation will always lead to disappointment, but have you declared what it is, like what result you are committed to making happen no matter what? If you haven't, declare that. Then check in with yourself and go, okay, is there anything that's running in my mind? Are there any thoughts that are coming to my mind? Is there any stories that I'm saying in my mind, not out loud, but in my mind, that could prevent this from happening. Doesn't matter what they are. Like for me, the stories that were in my mind were very different to what came out of my mouth. And I used to feel afraid to say them because I thought they made me wrong, or I would look stupid, or somebody would think I wasn't good enough. I would think I wasn't good enough. So I didn't want them to come out, because I'm like, no, I can push through them. I can make them not be real, but you can't. So it's really important to go through whatever those thoughts are and see what words are coming out of your mouth that don't match, because that's a complete disconnect. And you want them to be connected, right? You want them to be cohesive, and get underneath whatever they are so that you can clear them and that you can release them. Then when you're in that clean space, look at what your strategy is. So if a coach has given you a strategy, if you're masterminding and they've given you a strategy, are you following the strategy through exactly as it's intended? Or are you doing it your own way because it feels comfortable? This is where things go wrong, is when people do it their own way instead of the way that it was intended. And if you have a coach, are you reaching out to the coach for support with whatever the strategy is, so that you can tweak it and get the best results possible? So have a look at all of them today, and know that if you are frustrated because a strategy isn't working, if you're worried that a strategy isn't working, you connect with those steps, you will see things happen. And know that for most people, it is that tipping point, because when you see the results, then you start to feel confident. What we want to do is instill our confidence, and then move forward to see the results, because we've got to be confident in order to do the actions, in order to have the results. Keep that in mind. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.